Well, hello. Here we are back at Carlsbad Public Library for another exciting installment of Teen Tested Crafts. I'm here with Candle Kitchens.
Hello.
And I'm Mrs. Neiman, and we are going to show you a really fun, easy, no-sew activity today. Can you show us what you got there?
It is a little felt bag, and it doesn't require any kind of sewing, so it's super easy to make. And all it uses are this little cord and this round circle of felt fabric.
That's fleece fabric.
Fleece fabric.
Fleece fabric, yeah.
And you can kind of see that. We've also added some little beads to the end. And if you open it up and stretch it out, you can see that there are little dice inside.
Yeah, so you could put anything in there. You could put coins. You could put a little gift in there. Maybe a fun gift bag to make. And I want to tell you that you don't have to spend any money to try this craft because we have some craft kits here at the library for you to come and pick up for free. So this is a craft kit for grades 6 through 12. Anybody can come and get one. So let's get started with making our no-sew fleece bag and see how it works. Candle's going to step around to the demo camera, and I'm going to make my image a little bit smaller so you can see her clearly. I don't know what I did to myself there, people. Okay, I think I'm up there in the corner and you can see Candle. So she's got a large piece of fabric. So this is what comes in your kit, is you'll have a piece of fabric.
Not as large as this one, but
yeah, it probably won't be this way. This is just a leftover piece we had here. So the other thing you're going to need to get from home is a plate, like a dinner plate. You'll need one that's larger, right? Mm-hmm. And then you'll need a little piece of a plate or circle of paper, something that's about, I don't know, how much smaller is that?
Well, on this plate, this one is about the size of my hand in diameter, and this one is a little smaller than that.
So the inner circle that you're seeing, that plain white one there, she's just going to use that to mark around her big circle. So the first thing she's going to do is use her paper plate that she has there, and she's going to trace around that, cut around it.
Could you hand me that Sharpie?
A Sharpie, yes. Okay. So Candle's going to make a mark on the fabric with a Sharpie.
And you don't want to make a full circle, you just want to make little dashes around the plate.
Okay, some dotted lines. And I think we're going to end up with an assortment of fabric, so whatever you have in your kit. Or you could go down and pick out your own, at the fabric store. Jill's has it, and I think Walmart has it. I think those are the only two fabric stores in town at the moment. Can you think of any other ones? That's the only ones I can think of.
Yeah, that's the only ones I can think of too.
We used to have another one, but that one is not open anymore.
And now that you have that big circle marked out, it's about the size of my hand again, you'll see the little dots around there, and what you'll need are a pair of scissors to just kind of go and cut that out.
So this is a topic we discuss a lot, is the use of scissors. Now I have a fabric scissors in my drawer I can go get for you.
Yeah, these aren't working.
Yeah, okay, let me go get that.
Yeah, so with typical scissors, if you try and use them to cut fabric after you've been cutting paper or anything like that, then you end up with really dull scissors to try and cut fabric with. As you could tell, it was really hard to just cut that little piece off of fabric there. But if you have scissors that have only been used for cutting fabric, then it will be much easier to go and cut through the fabric because it's the only material it knows how to cut. If you need to, you can always sharpen some scissors. If you don't end up having any fabric scissors, you can sharpen them with a knife sharpener, or you can borrow some fabric scissors always.
Yes, right. Now I've got one pair of fabric scissors down here at the library that I use when I have to cut felt or something. So I labeled it so I don't forget and accidentally cut paper with it, because it'll make it dull. So I'm going to let Candle use my sharper scissors, and I think that will help her get a little bit better result on her cutting.
Yeah, it's already starting to help.
Isn't that nice? Yes, see, fabric scissors versus paper scissors, it makes a difference. It's not so much that it's a special kind of scissors, it's just that you save it only for cutting fabric. And of course, all scissors and knives get dull from use, so you might have to get your tools sharpened sometimes. It's a good thing to do.
I'm just going to go around and cut along the dotted lines. Sorry if my arm gets in the way.
It's totally in the way. All I see is your elbow.
Oh.
It's a cute elbow. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, you just kind of go along and cut along the dotted lines.
Yes.
To get that circle shape.
Now, what if a person has a light colored piece of fleece and they don't wish to leave a black mark on it? On this piece of fabric, it really doesn't matter because it's an animal print with lots of black in it already. It's not even going to be noticeable. But if you need to, you can draw lightly with a pencil or with a little bit of chalk.
Yeah, chalk. I believe chalk is one of the most recommended things for this.
Yes.
Another thing I could recommend is getting some. If you want to go ahead and just use like a washable marker and something that will wash right out of the fabric, and then you could do that before you add in the little cord.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And so now that we have our circle.
Now what size? That circle is the size of our plate.
Yeah.
So the size of your bag is going to be determined by the size of the circle you cut out. So just keep that in mind. Now we're going to we have another little circle that's slightly smaller.
And you can also adjust this based on how much of the space in the bag you want to have. If you want there to be more space, you'll want a larger plate overall and then a larger circle. This one's just a small little bag, so it's going to have about the circle in the middle of that, where the circle is about how much space you're going to have in the bag.
Also, notice that there is quite a margin of fabric around the outside. That is where your drawstring is going to pull up and hold the contents in. So you do need to leave room for your drawstring, and that's what we're doing right now. Kendall is making some marks.
I'm just making some parallel line marks around the edge of the fabric to kind of mark where I'm going to need to cut.
Okay, and she'll hold that up just as soon as she's got those marked, so you can see what kind of marks she's talking about.
And you can make your ties tighter or thinner based on how many of these little marks you make to cut out the fabric.
It gathers up tighter if you put more marks?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how you mark.
I've got that now. A little hard to see in some places, but
I can kind of see it on that. Yeah,
on the lighter bits you can see the marks in their individual little parallel lines.
Yes. Okay, so what are you going to do next?
So now I'm going to take the little pieces where I did that and make little tiny cuts so
you're going to snip about, what is that, maybe a quarter of an inch, half an inch?
Yeah, about that much. And then you're going to want to do that on every little black mark you've made.
So are they in little pairs?
Yes, so that when you send the little string through, and I've got a white cord this time, when you send it through the fabric, it will go like.
Okay, so it has to go through a little pair of holes to create the cinch.
Yeah, like that.
Got it. Okay, so you're going to make a little pair of snips all around where she's made her mark. Okay, and this doesn't take too long, I don't think. You could probably make a ton of, you know what? These would make really cute personalized gift bags for Christmas and birthdays.
Yeah, definitely.
And they could be party favors.
Yeah, yeah. Something else I could see them being used for is if you play Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering or any other kind of tabletop role-playing game where you have different dice sets that you need to carry around. Sure. You can make, if you moderate one of those games, you could give them out to your players, or you can just make one to carry around your own personal dice.
That's a great idea.
If you like owning a lot of dice, then you might need to just make a lot of bags for yourself.
Right, you might.
I'm slowly getting there. Okay. I have a lot of dice
You have a lot? Okay.
I have a lot of the 20-sided die, or D20, and then I have about 4 or 5 sets of the full 7 set of dice that you would need for playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons.
Okay.
Although I do not have a group yet to play with.
Well, maybe someone watching this video will say, hey, I would like to play. You can leave a message for Kendall at the library. We'll get it to her. Yeah. And
All
then
right.
you could put loose change in there. You could use it to, you know what else you could do? I have dogs, and they love treats, and they love to do tricks. So I could take some outside, and I could put some dog treats in this little drawstring bag, and it would keep my pocket from having crumbs in it.
Yeah, you could definitely make one with like a plastic or something like that, so they would have more of a, like it would be less stretchy, but it would also keep things a lot more clean in that regard.
Yes.
And now I'm just going through and checking my cuts and widening any of those that didn't quite cut far enough, but otherwise you can kind of see all of the little cut marks that I made.
Yes. Okay, that's easy enough. So what is our next step in our
So
drawstring bag?
next, I'm just going to go and cut out a length of cord. I'm going to try and measure it out along here, but generally, I'm just going to get a pretty long length, and I can always chop it later.
Yeah, you can trim it later. And
Yeah.
we do have some embellishments if you, we've included in the craft kits if you want to put something fancy on the end of your you could just tie knots in it, or you could put some beads and stuff on the ends too to make them more interesting. So it looks like you're just going in and out of each little pair of slices that you made with the scissors.
Mm-hmm. And
So you're
as
just
you
kind
go
of weaving
along,
it through
yeah.
there.
And you'll want to keep it all on the same side. It's not like sewing where it goes in and out. It just, well, it is a little
Yeah,
like
it is
sewing,
a little bit
but
like that, but yeah, you just go
you don't-
down through one and up through the other, and then you go all the way across to the next pair, right? Of,
Yeah.
Of clips.
you don't ever want it to stay on this side.
Yeah, gotcha. It goes pretty fast too with the cord and stuff.
I would
think.
say this out
You
of
don't
all
even
of
need
the
a needle.
crafts,
You don't
yeah,
even need
I
it.
think this out of all the crafts that we have available is probably one of the easiest. So if you're an amateur or a novice crafter, this would be a easy craft to do.
So this would be a good one to start with.
Mhm.
And of course, if you do have problems with your craft, you can always bring it to the library, and we'd be happy to help you with that. We help kids with craft projects all the time, and if you don't have someone at home who can help you, we'd be happy to help you out.
Yep.
Or if you have questions about any of the instructions that we provided, hopefully these DIY videos will be very instructive for everyone.
And now with that, I'm just going to cut about to the same length as this remaining cord.
Okay, so you're going to trim off your excess cord.
Yeah. And with that, you
Now-
can see that it kind of makes a little bit of a bowl shape.
Yeah, it does.
And
it's already
when you-
a little bowl shape.
When
right?
you can tie it and pull it together, it makes the little
Oh,
bag.
yeah, and it keeps everything inside. Now, what about embellishing your cord? Are you going to do anything with that?
So what I have here, and I'm also going to cut this cord a little tighter because it is
Just a
very
little bit too
long.
loose.
Yeah. I have some little wooden beads here, and you can use several little embellishments. You could just use one or two. I'm going to use these cute little smiley face beads
Okay.
and just kind of slide them onto the ends of your little cords, and just to keep it on there, you'll want to do a little bit of a knot to prevent it from sliding off,
That makes sense.
and then just tighten it down.
And if one knot isn't enough, just do it again until your knot is big enough to hold the bead on there.
Yeah, and you can also do one up here to prevent it from sliding up and down, but I'm not too worried about that. That's only if you really want it in a very specific spot on the...
Right. And once you've made one of these bags, I think you'll get some ideas for other ones you could make with different kinds of fabric. You could make them fancy, you could make them wild, you know, kind of whatever you want them to be.
And now you got the cute little smiley face ones.
Now let's
and-
put something in there and see how it holds.
So I'm just going to take these dice from this other bag I have made. And this one I actually used some pom-pom beads for that. And so that's the
I
difference.
like that. It goes well with the crazy fabric.
You can just whoop, dump them
look
out.
Yeah.
And we have what looks to be a D12, a D4, just a typical die. And we have that with the written numbers and with the dots. We have a D4 and a D8 and a D20.
Nice. And all you have to do to close the bag is just pull on the two strings and then Do you just tie them together?
Yeah, you just gotta do a little bit of a simple tie like that, and that holds it closed.
Perfect. That's a great little project. Thank you for sharing that with us. So if you want to come over here, I'll hold it up in front of this right here. She did a terrific job. Why don't you get your other one too, so we can see the other kind of, oh yeah. we'll
Trying
make
to
this
fix it
bigger.
back.
Okay, let me make it bigger. Oh, I just slid myself around. Okay, there
Gotta
we go.
love this program.
Yep, this is homemade video. Okay, so here's the one we just created with the little smiley beads, and you can hear the dice in there. And then this one had some pom-poms on the end just for something fun. They look like Cheetos.
They do look like little Cheeto Puffs.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so come and get your free craft kit if you haven't already for this week. And you can find some materials and supplies to try this craft at home, and let us know how you like it. Tune in all summer long. We're going to have 6 different projects for you to try, and I think you're going to enjoy them. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.